It has finally happened. The day we've all been waiting for. Deckard Steam Frame has now been officially announced by Valve. This is just going to be a quick video going over some of the details that have been announced. I'm not going to go into nitty-gritty details. If you want to have a look at all the specs and everything like that, I'll have links down in the description. But yeah, this is basically just a quick news and my thoughts and reactions on everything frame related. Obviously, for those that don't really know, Valve have just announced 3 new hardware products. We have the Steam Frame, which is Valve's new VR headset. It is a standalone headset. We have a new Steam controller, and we have a Steam Machine, which is a standalone PC, just like your Steam Deck, but it's in box form. It's 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck. Yeah, so a PC, basically. But in this video, we're going to be talking just about Steam Frame. Now, Steam Frame is going to be for PCVR, but it's a standalone headset, much like the Meta Quest. However, it runs Steam OS. It is its own machine. It is a PC. And the interesting thing about this is, and what they are saying is like quite prominent in what they're saying, is this is a high quality streaming first experience. And with that comes new technology, what they're calling foveated streaming. Now, we all know about foveated rendering, whereby based on, either it's static foveated rendering, or with eye tracking, it's dynamic foveated rendering of where you're looking. That's where everything's going to be rendered 100%. Everything else is going to be rendered at a lower quality. PlayStation VR 2 has this for developers that have supported it. No Man's Sky, for example, is one game that adopted this, and that skyrocketed the game and its experience and its performance, because it was having to be just focus on where you're looking and everything else was less so, and just performance went through the roof on that game. But yeah, so they're doing foveated streaming, which is along the same lines, but depending on where you're looking, because your game is being streamed from your PC or from the Steam machine, it's only going to send all the data for high quality of where you're looking and less so where you're not. So less data has to be sent to you, which is very clever. Obviously, the proof will be in the pudding when this comes out early next year. People getting their hands on it. I hope to get my hands on one as well to cover it on the channel. That's when we'll properly understand and see these things. Obviously, there are other videos out there of bigger content creators that were invited to Valve's HQ to get hands-on experience with this. Linus Tech Tips, for example, go check out that video. It's very informative. But for a better streaming experience, you'll also get a USB dongle, which will stream at 6 gigahertz. So plenty of bandwidth. It's going to be above all your other traffic and noise, because 6 gigahertz band isn't really being used by any products. Yeah, you do have some Wi-Fi routers that support it, but it just cuts above all that other standard noise. So very exciting. Like I mentioned, it's a standalone headset, so it's got inside-out tracking. No need for any base stations or anything like that anymore. So unfortunately, if you were in that ecosystem, they're not really supported because it's inside-out tracking. So they're kind of obsolete, which is a shame. It would have been nice if they'd somehow tried to incorporate that so that you could have that. But I guess the market has shifted away, all of that. So it's great in the sense of you don't need to worry about that and setting everything up in your rooms and whatever. But because it's standalone, you just stick it on and you're good to go. We have pancake lenses finally in a Valve headset. Pancake lenses are fantastic, so much thinner, clearer, that literally the sweet spot is the entire lens. If you've tried a Quest 3, for example, or Pico headset, you know exactly what I mean. Literally, the lenses on that are fantastic. I can't go back to trying any other headset that doesn't have pancake lenses. So thankful that the Valve frame has pancake lenses. Panels are LCD. I know a lot of people were hoping for OLED or micro OLED, but that is not the case. For me, it's not a huge issue. Refresh rates, we're looking at 72 to 144 hertz. 144 is apparently experimental, but it's good to see that. I believe it's 72 to 120 hertz normally, and then 144 is experimental, but nice that we've got those refresh rates. We're looking at 2160 by 2160 pixels per eye, which is great in my opinion. From what I've seen and read, Valve are saying it's going to be about 110 FOV. Obviously, that may differ depending on you, if you wear glasses. I believe there is a spacer that you can have as well for people that have long eyelashes or need to wear glasses in VR. Prescription lenses is something that has been hinted towards, but there's no official word on that yet. There are loads of third-party companies out there that support or that develop and produce prescription lenses for different VR headsets. So we're bound to see third-party support for the Steam Frame as well. So the processor is Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. It comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM. Obviously, with this being a standalone headset, it does have a battery in the back for balance, but also to power it. We've got new controllers, and these controllers, I think Valve have done a very smart and clever thing here, because the controllers on other devices, you got your joysticks and then you got your two buttons on the face part, and then obviously you've got your grip and your triggers. But people coming to VR for the first time, they might be console players. For example, your typical controller has your two joysticks, a D-pad, and then 4 face buttons on the right-hand side. On VR controllers that we know today, they're split across both controllers. You've got 2 on this side and 2 on that side. But what Valve are doing is, this isn't just a headset for playing VR games. This is a headset for playing your entire Steam library, either streamed or played natively on the headset, because it is its own device running Steam OS. So if you're wanting to play those games, you're going to need controllers that support your standard typical inputs. So that's what they've done. You've got your standard VR controllers, but you've got your 4 face buttons on the right controller with an analog stick, and on the left you've got the analog stick with the D-pad. I think that's fantastic. You've still got your grip buttons, and you've got 2 shoulder buttons, so basically your trigger buttons for VR, but also you've got now an additional one as well. So all in all, it's all combined into these new VR controllers. I think it's great design. I have no issues with this. I think it's fantastic. But like I said, this is a standalone headset. You don't need to stream to it. You can install directly onto the headset. I believe there are 2 models of storage, but I believe it also has an SD card slot. Yeah, so there is an SD card slot behind the face gasket, apparently. I don't know if this can be used for additional storage, but it is there. But yeah, so you can install directly onto the headset. It is going to be able to play all your games, obviously to a certain degree. This isn't, I don't think it's going to be powerful enough to run like high-end AAA PC VR games natively on the headset. There is going to be a translation there going on, but they've got other stuff that they've been developing. I think it's called FEX, but again, details down in the description. So you're going to be able to install your flat games on there as well. I've got a huge library of indie games that I'm going to be wanting to play on this as well, on a massive screen. Now, I know you can do these sorts of things on other headsets, but you need your actual PC there that you're connecting to, either like with virtual desktop or with a cable, or with, like, if it's the Meta Quest, for example, Steam Link, or, you know, you got these other things that you need. So you do need another computer. But with this, because it is a standalone and you can just install directly onto it, you can play all these games kind of flat as well. Cameras on it are monochrome, so it's not color pass-through, so that is kind of disappointing, because I'd like to think you'd be able to sit there, chill, see your environment, and play your flat games on a big screen, whereas it looks like their focus is still keeping you in a 3D VR environment whilst you're playing your flat games. Basically, like theater view. If you've been doing PCVR before and you go into SteamVR and you just have that big screen, it's going to be that sort of experience from what I've seen. But all in all, I'm very excited for this. We don't know price. We know Frame and the other Steam controller and Steam machine are coming out early 2026, but we don't know price. What do you think the price of the Steam Frame is going to be? Are you interested in it? Do you think it's not enough at this point in time? Do you think Valve should have done more? Let's have a discussion down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. How much do you think it's going to be? When do you think it's going to be coming out? When they say early 2026, do we think January? February? Is that too soon? Let's have a discussion down below, and let's share our excitement, our disappointments, all of that goodness down in the comments below. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's just a short news sort of video. I've not really done these before. What do you think of it? Should I do more of these types of videos? Again, let me know down in the comments below. If you have enjoyed this video though, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and hi and welcome by the way. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on future content. And until next time, stay safe, have fun, and game on.